Hello and welcome to my channel. Now that you know how to cut the newspapers and have the proper wire available, you can learn how to make the paper rolls. First of all, you need to prepare the surface which you will use for rolling the paper. The surface should not be too smooth because there should be a good adhesive bond between the paper and the surface. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to roll the paper rolls, if possible at all. I usually use a cutting mat, but you can try rolling the paper rolls on some other surfaces, for example, on a piece of linoleum, vinyl wallpaper, regular wallpaper. You will need to replace it after rolling about 2000 rods, expanded polystyrene or styrofoam, silicone baking mat, foam rubber or foam miran, and so on. Try different surfaces and choose the one you like the most. I use the masking tape to hold the cutting mat in place on my desk when I roll the paper rolls. Another important thing to consider is the glue. You can use the PVA glue commonly called the white glue. However, it should be high quality glue, otherwise your paper rolls will look like this after covering and you will need to waste time on gluing each and every of them before you can start weaving the basket. I use different types of glue, for example Gorilla Wood Glue, which is classified as type 2, that is water resistant. In the previous videos I showed how to cut the paper, explained how to choose the right width of the paper strip, and where to get the suitable wire. In this video I will show you how to roll the paper rolls using the paper strips 10 cm wide and the stainless steel TIG welded rod 1.5 mm in diameter. So let's start rolling. Put a paper strip on the suitable surface with the white margin away from yourself. Place the wire on the bottom right corner of the paper strip. The angle between the edge of the paper strip and the wire should be approximately 5 degrees, that is, the wire should be placed almost parallel to the paper strip. Fold the corner of the paper strip over the wire, press on it very firmly with the index fingers and start rolling the wire. Gradually move your left hand towards the other end of the wire. Roll the wire with the index, middle and ring fingers on your right hand and with the index, ring and little fingers on your left hand. At the same time, use the middle finger on your left hand to press the wire a little bit towards yourself to make sure the paper rod is tight. When you have only several centimeters of the paper strip left to roll, press it down with your left hand and rotate it clockwise with your right hand to make sure the paper rod is rolled tightly. Apply some glue to the top left corner of the paper strip and finish rolling it with your left hand. Pull the wire out. The paper rod is ready. Just like anything else, rolling the paper rods requires some practice, but it's the skill that can be learned very quickly after you roll several dozen paper rods. Let me show you several more times how to roll the paper rods. I will do it in slow motion. This is the actual speed of rolling the paper rolls. Usually I make about 4 paper rolls per minute, which equals to 240 paper rolls per hour. You need about 400 paper rolls for a medium-sized basket. That is, it will take less than 2 hours for you to roll the paper rolls required to make a medium-sized basket similar to this one. This end of the paper roll is called the butt, and this end is called the tip. Both the butt and the tip of the paper rod should have the same thickness. Sometimes, due to the lack of experience, the tips of the paper rods may turn out to be thicker than the butts. If that is the case, use a solution as suggested in this video. That is, cut the paper strips in a different way, 10 cm on one side and 8 cm on the other side. Rolling the strips cut in such a way will help you get the paper rods with the tips and butts identical in thickness. It is very important for the proper connection of the paper rods during the weaving process. If the width of the margin on the paper strip was at least 15 mm, and if you roll the paper rod correctly, you will have the white paper rods, which can be colored in absolutely any color. If the margin was less than 15 mm, the paper rods will look similar to this one. You still can use them for making the baskets, but such paper rods can be dyed only in dark colors such as dark brown, dark green or black, unless you don't mind having the newspaper print on your baskets.